Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on the Saga channel. Today, episode 4 and the final episode of our mini-series building my own underwater camera rig with the Panasonic GH5 and the Mitakon Sea Frogs underwater housing. We, in episode 1, unboxed and inspected our camera. Episode 2, we unboxed and inspected the Sea Frogs underwater housing. Episode 3, put the rig together, looked at the Inon Z330 strobe. And in this episode, the last one, as I promised, the results of some test footage. Let's do it. Alrighty guys, so as promised, some test footage. It was not super easy to get this test footage. Just like many of you, we are right now in self-quarantine. The dive center is closed. I managed to get a few shots, and those are what we're gonna have to do with it. We're not diving for now, but I hope you like it. And that being said, guys, if you do like this content in general, anything diving related, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, leaving a comment. I'm very happy to reply and very happy to start the discussion. I am still looking for people who have a Sea Frogs underwater housing and what the experiences are, because I'm well aware that this is definitely the low end of underwater housings, and I was very scared, honestly, to put what is essentially quite a good camera in there. Which brings me to my first point: the camera. The camera, I think, is amazing. So it's definitely a few years old. The reason I bought it is because the price point is just very attractive. But I still think this might be one of the better cameras on the market in that segment. The video performance is also amazing. 120 frames a second at 1080p, which is really good. 60 frames a second at 4K. So that's just amazing. In the housing, it's a perfect fit. Honestly, it sits well, it works well. I haven't really had any problems, to be honest. The buttons lined up perfectly. As I said in the previous episode, there is no manual zoom or focus, and that is one thing. But if you're okay with that, then you just go with it, right? That being said, guys, let's look at some shots here. As you can see, the quality is amazing. So if we zoom in a little bit, it's really wonderful. And the amount of detail is really gorgeous. I worked a little bit with the flash. I'm not a professional underwater photographer by any stretch of the imagination, so working with the flash, with the strobe, wasn't super easy. As I said, this one is triggered by a little flash trigger that goes on top of the hot shoe of the camera, triggers the fiber optics cable. I thought there would maybe be some kind of a delay, but there really wasn't. The housing is quite positively buoyant, so as you can see, I have 2 positively buoyant arms on there, which is honestly a little bit overkill. Definitely need to do some effort to get that down. But other than that, super happy. I still limited in the amount of photos that I took. I took some above water, underwater. Definitely need to choose where to put your focus. That was new for me because I never had a dome port, so I never really had the opportunity to take shots like that. But if you can decide where to put your focus, then the results are pretty stunning. Obviously, all of these photos are tweaked a little bit. I kind of played with the colors just a bit, just to make it look a little bit better. What's great is, of course, the burst function. We can do 12 shots per second, which, as you can imagine, really allows you to pick the perfect shot there. In terms of video, it's good, it's great. Strictly speaking, in terms of image quality, it's very close to what a GoPro can do, with the exception that, of course, a GoPro always has that distortion around the edges of the frame. Obviously, our more high quality 12-35 lens doesn't really have that. So in that sense, it's definitely better. The built-in stabilizer is also really phenomenal, in my opinion. So the lens has a built-in stabilizer, and then there's in-body image stabilization, and those two work together, which makes it really quite spectacular. So obviously, as soon as all of this clears up and we can go diving again, we're hopefully going to produce much more content. But I did want to show this footage with you guys because you've been invested throughout the last 3 episodes. So this concludes our series, building my underwater camera rig. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you like that kind of content, and definitely leave a like or a comment because it's a good way for me to know if these videos are the kind of content that people like. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.